Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Freedom from Struggle show at Red's Roundtable. We're so happy you're here today, and it's a beautiful Saturday afternoon down here in Biloxi, Mississippi. I hope wherever you're listening from, it's nice also, and we're really happy to be here, like I said. And just a second, right now, we're going to have a word from our sponsors with our introduction. And then we'll be right back with you. So we appreciate you. Just stand by for myself and Terry to come back and share some things with you.
Get ready for an epic collaboration as MB Radio and Patriot Radio join forces. These veteran-owned stations are uniting to bring you top-notch, veteran-run podcasts, along with your favorite classic rock music 24/7. Stay tuned for the ultimate radio experience that celebrates our heroes and plays the tunes that never get old. From engaging discussions to timeless hits, this partnership has everything you need for your listening pleasure. Don't miss out on this exciting new chapter in radio history as MB Radio and Patriot Radio come together to rock your world. Introducing J&J Beard Co., your go-to destination for high-quality handmade and natural beard products. Our family-owned business, based in New Jersey, prides itself on using the finest ingredients to bring you premium products that will elevate your grooming routine. Each product is carefully crafted with love and expertise, ensuring that you get the best care for your beard. Treat yourself to the luxury of J&J Beard Co. and experience the difference that true quality and craftsmanship can make for your beard. Join the J&J Beard Co. family today and unleash the full potential of your facial hair with our exceptional products. Find them on the web at jjbeardco.com. That's jjbeardco.com. Easy access to your gear. Stay prepared for any situation with our high-quality medical supplies, designed to keep you ready for action at all times. Solution for top-notch protection and performance in the field. Our armor bundles provide unmatched safety and comfort, while our battle belts and holsters ensure quick and easy access to your gear. Stay prepared for any situation with our high-quality medical supplies, designed to keep you ready for action at all times. Looking to enhance your skills? Our firearms training programs will take your proficiency to the next level. Trust LT Defense for all your tactical gear needs and gear up for success on the battlefield.
This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gab-fed show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Make it clear that the views expressed by our host are not the official stance of NBR views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
Find us on the web at mbradio.com.
Hello, friends. I'm Kent Skelton, and I'm so glad you are here. Together we can battle this struggle and find freedom from it all. Life is continuous, and it would be ridiculous to say that you or I don't experience those seconds, minutes, hours, or days that seem like they'll never end. Time continues on, regardless of how we feel or what we experience. We search, longingly for a way to handle and navigate through these situations we are experiencing. There has to be a way. Surely I can find the solution to get rid of these negative experiences and periods of despair I am feeling. Maybe it's not our own problems, but those of family members or loved ones that are living in pain. These pains may come from alcoholism, addictions, illness, grief, boredom, and in so many other forms. What will we do? Where is that light I'm supposed to be able to see at the end of the tunnel? When will I see it? When will this end? The timing to realize you need help is up to each of us. That's you, that's me. We are each individually accountable for ourselves. We have to make the change, and the timing is now. There's no time like the present to desire and begin that road to recovery. Together, let's reach that freedom from struggle.
Hello, welcome back. Got Red's Roundtable, and you got myself, Red, and my guest for today is Terry from the Tracer Rounds podcast. Terry, I'm glad you're here.
Hey, thank you. I'm happy to be here today. I'm looking forward to what we're going to learn.
Woohoo! That's what I'm talking about. And hey, all you guys and gals out there in the audience, we really appreciate y'all being here and listening in, whether you're hearing it live this Saturday afternoon, or if you're catching a recording on any one of the platforms that are available. And we're also just let you know it is also a rewinds come up on Spotify. And I believe we're going to be starting, we're on Roku now on Amazon Fire Stick, but I believe we're going to start playing a lot of our videos 24/7 on our Roku channel app. All you got to do is download MBR. That's Military Broadcast Radio. You can search that if you need to from your iPhone or Android. You can also download the MBR app or simply check out MBR Talk on Facebook or your favorite platform such as Twitter. What does that know now? As X. And Instagram, TikTok, you name it, we're probably on it. Okay. Look, I've been thankful this week. I was able to be on Terry's show, the Tracer Rounds, earlier in the week. I was telling her earlier, it seemed like that was almost a month ago, but I've been up at the in-laws house. So, you know, time just, I would say the time flies, but it's like I'm waiting for Christmas when I'm up there. You know, we do open presents up there every Christmas season. So time goes a little bit slower there in your hometown. We have a blessing this week. My mother-in-law had a pacemaker put in, and she's doing so much better. And that's just a big praise. I was also able to be on a local radio station in Meridian, WMOX 1010 on the AM dial. And I was on there with a good friend, and we got to talk a lot about recovery. And it was really neat to be able to share that information with him.
That's exciting.
It really was. And I believe there's a lot of viewers, had some call-ins. Wait, speaking of viewers and call-ins, we don't have the telephones active today. We're simulcasting right now. We got our show going on, and our station manager folks out there in Colorado, they're actually at an event today. And so we're both broadcasting right now at the same times. But you can always use your comments on your platform you're watching. Put in a comment, and if we see them, we'll try to respond to it. If you have a question, ask it. I'll try to answer. If I can't, Terry might. If not, we'll go to Google. We'll find the answer for you. Now, we'll research it, and I'll get back to you. I understand some situations could be in private, which leads me to say you could also just message MBR Talk. You could message myself or actually send me an email at red, R-E-D, at mbradio.us. And I'm going to play that real quick down here on the bottom of our screen. So if you see that, I thought I was going to do that, but right now I don't think I am because I don't see it. But that's fine. I'll get it on there shortly. And normally it pops up right for me right off the bat. But what's that? Did you say something, Terry?
No, huh?
Okay, I thought I heard something. Might have been something in the background here at my house. Probably a little puppy barking, maybe. But anyway, look, we're glad you're here with us. It's Freedom from Struggle show, and it is where we talk about ways to recover and ways to maybe come out of denial, but providing hope And that's my prayer each time we get on here, Terry, is that someone, just even if it's only one person, they can realize whatever type of hurt, habit, or hang up they might have. They might realize that there is a light at the end of a tunnel. There is hope. And, and that's a wonderful thing. And even if one seed's planted for somebody to where they'll remember in the future, who they need to turn to for recovery. Which I'll mention real quick. I am a U.S. veteran, Air Force veteran, and served 20 years active duty in the Air Force. Thanks everybody for allowing me to serve the country. It was a pleasure of mine, and we'd go back and do it again. Terry, I'm sure you're the same with your service. But Freedom from Struggle is based on a Celebrate Recovery type of 12-step program. I am a Celebrate Recovery leader at my home church, First Baptist Church in Biloxi, Mississippi. And that's why one of the reasons we got on the podcast, because I just wanted to share these steps and principles with the audience and let people know that there are things out there that can really help, and there's no reason to be ashamed of anything. Every single one of us that's walking this great creation that was created by God has some type of hurt, habit, or hang up. Okay. And the way I look at it biblically and from a Christian perspective, everyone's a sinner, and if you're not, and I always have to throw this in, if you're not, there might be somebody out there or two or three that think they're just absolutely perfect. Don't stink. And look, I want you to call in. I need you to get you on the show because we don't want you holding secrets of your perfection from people, So make a comment also and get plugged in with me. We'll bring you on the Freedom from Struggle show. And you can be up here in the spotlight just like Terry and myself today. Terry, where are you from? What brings you here besides me asking you today?
Well, I'm from Texas, and I'm an Army reservist with 33 years of service and counting, and I retired this December. And, I'm really here because I watch your show often, and what I get out of it is something that's going to help me with some things I struggle with. I may not struggle from alcohol. I may not struggle from drugs, but, I struggle sometimes with self-confidence. I struggle with thinking that I'm not good enough, that I'm not enough of a person to handle this or that. So just hearing some tools and some ways to navigate those feelings and just challenge myself to reach further and dig deeper and then seek a higher guidance that's going to help me through those things.
That's a blessing the way you look at it like that. And while not everybody, and listen, I will say, hey, I am a grateful believer, Terry, that in Jesus Christ. And I'm recovering and I celebrate my recovery from alcoholism. And I'm almost at my 30-year birthday or anniversary for that, which might be hard for people to believe with my gut and how silly I act sometimes. But hey, I'm stone cold sober. So,
that's awesome.
It's a blessing. It's been truly a blessing to be able to be in this position. But even more so now, being on military broadcast radio, we're give veterans a voice. And for us to be able to be on here, and like you're saying, you might not have this problem or that problem, but everybody has some type of hurt, habit, or hang up. And even if you're not ready to deal with it yet, we want you to know where you can turn to. Okay. This program, just like Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, and various recovery type programs, mental health type programs, use that 12-step process. And you know why they use it is because it's so successful. And we're going to start going into a little bit that here in just a few minutes. It's already 14 and a half minutes into the program. I don't know where time goes. It just kind of flies by. Look, we're going to play a quick song. We'll be right back with you. I got Terry with me today from Tracer Rounds. And of course, Red sitting right here around Red's Roundtable. So look, y'all stand by. We'll be right back.
It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, hear the line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana, to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, hear the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the ultimate price. Oh. He was the man of the house when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you knew him, you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with only one hand. 'Cause Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, hear the light. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on these front lines. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, he'll pay the ultimate price. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down his life. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. March in line, march in line. Hey. Hey.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
And we're back right here around Red's Roundtable. Got Terry with me today. Hey, I said I was going to pull up a little banner to run across the bottom. We got it scrolling down on the bottom now. If you have any questions or anything private you'd like to speak about, you can see email red, R-A-D, at mbradio.us. And I'll just read it real quick. We want to thank y'all all for joining us today. Once again, feel free to comment. Okay, Military Broadcast Radio and the Freedom from Struggle show at Red's Roundtable would also love for you to consider being a sponsor, whether it's just an individual show or our whole station. MBR Radio is a nonprofit, and it works on contributions from our listeners. Thanks a lot for listening to me on that. And Terry, look, we talked a little bit about, I was saying stuff about the 12 steps as we led into this, okay? And what I would like to do next, and folks, you can Google 12-step programs. I believe there's an Alcoholics Anonymous app online. I think it tells you where meetings are and gives you a lot of resources. My big one is Celebrate Recovery. There's a CR or Celebrate Recovery app, and you can download it on your iPhone or Android. And man, it just gives tons of great resources. And actually, both of those apps will provide emergency phone numbers you might need just in case, something's going on with yourself or someone else. Okay, we're going to pull up the 12 steps real quick. And I always like to do this through every show because for me, this is what it's about. I mean, this is where it's at, okay? And I provide the 12 steps, and here with being a Celebrate Recovery leader, I like to throw in the biblical comparisons to it. Terry, if you don't mind, would you read the first step, and then I'll read the comparison? Hey, Terry. Hey, you're muted, I believe, for some reason. Can you hear me, Terry?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hey, yeah, I got you loud and clear. Hey, listen, let me ask you something. Would you mind reading that first step?
Right. No problem. We admitted we were powerless over our addictions and compulsive behaviors, that our lives had become unmanageable.
Okay, the biblical comparison for that out of Romans 7:18 is, I know that nothing good lives in me, that is, in my sinful nature. If I have the desire to do what's good, but I cannot carry it out. How about step 2?
We came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity.
Okay, in Philippians 2:13, it says, for it is God who works in you to will and to act according to his good purpose. That's Philippians 2:13. And then finally, step 3, please.
We made a decision to turn our lives and our wills over to the care of God.
Okay, Romans 12:1 says, therefore, I urge you, brothers, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. And that's for Romans 12:1. And we know that when it says there, I urge you, brothers, it's referring to mankind. Okay, that's for each and every one of us. You don't get by with saying, oh, well, wait a minute, the Bible just said for the brothers to do that. No, that's for all of us, okay? That's all of us. That's kind of that's where our walk's at, okay? In Christianity, it's not just a matter of believing in that higher power God, or his son Jesus Christ. It's actually putting on the boots and putting on the shoes and stepping in his footsteps that he was able to step on and be a great witness, be a great mentor, a great disciple, whatever you want to consider it. But that's where leaders are coming from, so many. And we can't hold secrets. We got to tell other people about it, and we got to live the right way, and live the right. And I say live the right way with our military. Terry, you probably remember this. You got to live the right way, do the right things when no one's listening. It's right. It's not just when you're on parade, or in uniform, or in public. It's all the time.
Right. It's called integrity.
That is it. And say in the Air Force, we had integrity first, service for self, and excellence in all we do. And, man, I tell you what, this old Mississippi boy, Terry, I'm from Mississippi. Don't go apologizing for me, but I am from Mississippi, a country boy from the Queen City of Meridian, now living a couple hundred miles south on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. And that's what it's all about. I mean, it is, we got to do what we're got to do. But through the military, I came a long ways. Okay. I really came a long ways because I wasn't the best student back home. I was leading a pretty kind of a rough life, if you will, I would say I was hanging around with a big bad crowd, but heck, the bad crowd I was really hanging out with was my wife, my high school sweetheart. So I came a bad crowd. We're still running around today, but I might have slipped off here and there, and us hanging with the wrong people. I can say that, but was not necessarily the wrong people. They weren't bad people. They were good people. It's just, we were partiers. We loved to have a good time. And at the time, we thought this was the best way to have a good time, doing what we did, And it's a lifestyle. There's no doubt about it. It's a lifestyle. But coming in the military, maturing. Okay, I'd mentioned my mother-in-law. Maturing, as my mother-in-law might say. She's still waiting for me to do that, by the way. It'd be awesome if she was listening, and she'd probably comment. But I am still trying to mature. I'm not quite 60 yet. Okay, I'm still in my 50s. And so I think I have a little bit more time to practice that. And but with these hurts, habits, and hangups, even if you have something that might be bothering you, but you might be in denial about, might not be able to really come out and say, okay, hey, I'm ready to tackle this thing. It's there. And even knowing it's with us, we all have that family member or dear friend that is also struggling.
Yeah.
And man, what better way to be able to help them, okay, than going through something yourself, have become more than just yourself, more than just of this world, and getting into more of the spiritual realm, if you will, and being able to really help somebody. But if you haven't experienced it, and this is where don't keep secrets, at least the resources to help somebody out, okay? And I think that goes a long way right there in itself, Terry.
Well, I really think too that the person has to want help, because you can offer it, but if they're not listening and they don't really want the help, there's nothing you can do for them.
Hey, you're from out there in Texas. What do they say about that horse?
Oh, well, you can't lead a horse. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Actually, you can, because I've done it, but you have to stick the hose down their mouth. But otherwise you can't make them drink. So
you almost got to waterboard them, huh?
Almost.
That's not a good subject. That's not a good subject. I shouldn't say that, but you have to force it to them.
You would have to, because horses, if they're not thirsty or don't want to drink, they won't. They will not.
Right.
There's nothing you can do to coerce them to take a drink.
I think there's a lot of us like that also. I just saw something pop up on my watch. It popped up, I guess, because I used the waterboard phrase. But this is the same way if you don't, if you're off the air. Oh my goodness. Hey, so what I was going to say is, like you're talking about, you can lead a horse to water, but can't make them drink. Of course, you've got the secrets. You're from Texas. I didn't know that. I just assumed they wouldn't drink. Okay. But that's goes back to a lot of that first step, that step one, admitting you have a problem, and, say, well, I drank. Hey, I was a drinker. I'm ashamed to say that in a way, because I know I shouldn't have been. I wasn't taught to do that, but I was a drinker. And for a long time, hey, you can take it away from me or tell me I shouldn't do it. But hey, I wasn't smart enough to stop doing it, and eventually it came to that point where there wasn't no choice. I had, I was basically down on my knees and begging for mercy and, hey, quit this, take this away from me. And thankfully the Lord did, for me.
Yeah.
That was 30 years ago almost. That's crazy.
That's awesome. That's what that is.
Yeah, it really is.
I don't think there's anything wrong with admitting you had a hang up before, like admitting you had problems with drugs, you had problems with spending money, you had problems with alcohol. I mean, I think because that really goes back to telling people that, everyone is human and has issues, but you can overcome. You don't have to stay stuck on, as the one, he was the admiral that was over New Orleans, and he said, "Don't get stuck on stupid." Like that was his thing to the press. Like, don't get stuck on that. Well, don't get stuck on it. Like, just because you had that hang up or that problem doesn't mean you have to stay stuck there. You can get past that and you can move on. And just admitting that you had that problem is a way of moving on. Like, so because you're getting the shame away.
Terry, I take you as a pretty bright person. You know what I'm saying? I know you're intelligent. I've talked to you. I've met you. I know you, and I wouldn't have doubted it whether, regardless, but when you mentioned that, step 5 is we admitted to God, to ourselves, and get this, to another human being, the exact nature of our wrongs, regardless of what it is. And it says, James 5:16, therefore confess your sins to each other, not just to the Lord, not just to yourself, but confess your sins to each other. Confess your hurts, habits, and hangups to each other. But pray for each other that you may be healed. And that is definitely a part of that process, is letting it be known. And then you kind of you're putting yourself into accountability. Not only are you asking somebody to help you be accountable, but you got to be honest, right? That integrity. And when we're serious about this, not saying that we won't fall. Okay. I mean, there's been plenty of people with the best intentions that might, and I think in drinking is on the wagon, off the wagon, that type of stuff. But sometimes things happen that, and it might be something that just surprises you. I mean, really surprises you, where you don't even realize really what you're doing. All of a sudden you're smoking a cigarette again. All of a sudden you're drinking a beer again, or doing whatever, or all of a sudden cursing about things you don't like again. I mean, there's so many hurts, habits, and hangups people can have. It's not just substance abuse. Okay. Right. It's not just grieving or whining or selfishness. There's so many areas, and we just can't do it alone. I mean, I guess if you do it alone, it's too easy to mess up, Terry. I mean, and like, well, I'll catch up next week. Hey, I've got a little extra weight right now, but I tell you what, I'm doing something. I'm already taking control of this in a sense. I'm sitting here telling the public right now, look, Fat Boy Red he's fixing to shed some pounds of weight. I'm just letting you know. I'm not keeping it for myself. I'm praying about it. I want you to pray for me, root hard for me. Put your money on Red. We're coming out of this thing, right? We got to get healthy again. I'm almost 60 years old. And I actually it wouldn't hurt to lose 60 pounds. But, that's cool. Man,
that's a nice goal.
I'm heavy. Hey, now, look what time it is, Terry. Can you see the time?
Yes.
What does that mean?
We should take a break?
It means we got to hear from our sponsors. We got to take a little short break. Hey, folks, stay with us. Like I said, feel free to comment. You can email red@mbradio.us, or heck, for all that matter, I think you can email Terry, Terri, @mbradio.us, or just
it's actually Tracer Rounds at MBR.
Oh, it is Tracer Rounds at MBR Radio. And you can see Tracer Rounds right there on the screen. And anytime you want to remember something you see on here, man, take a snapshot if you're on your iPhone or whatever. Okay. Look, let's hear a word from our sponsor real quick. We'll be right back with you for Freedom from Struggle right here hanging around a Ridge Roundtable.
Introducing LT Defense Tactical Gear, your ultimate solution for top-notch protection and performance in the field. Our armor bundles provide unmatched safety and comfort, while our battle belts and holsters ensure quick and easy access to your gear. Stay prepared for any situation with our high-quality medical supplies, designed to keep you ready for action at all times. Looking to enhance your skills? Our firearms training programs will take your proficiency to the next level. Trust LT Defense for all your tactical gear needs and gear up for success on the battlefield.
Another regular day, nobody knows. It's that time, he's coming home to them from a foreign land. He pulls up, his mama cries, looks at daddy with tears in his eyes and says, nothing feels better than this. Couple of months go by and no one sees. Something just ain't right, only wants his peace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free and put his mind at ease. We will help cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22 0 again. He gets help, but he still feels off. Season out on the TV about a dog batting said, this is a man's best friend. Whoa, so he goes one day and he picks it up. Never thought a dog could bring so much love and put a smile on his face. But he's finally found a saving grace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22 0 again. Whoa, whoa. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22 0 again.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
At mbradio.us. I always like that. Hey, these are good songs. That's a great song. Military and just Americans, our whole country has been affected so much. And man, there's some times, Terry, I was talking about having those resources available. There's times when you have to ask somebody, hey, are you all right? Is everything going all right? You know, you have to ask those questions. You know, if you see or feel like something's going on, or I don't know, just in a way wondering or worried about somebody, talk to them, ask them. You know, the worst they can do is not ever talk to you again. And then I guess I'd be saying, hey, how dare you ask me? You don't ask me. But what if we don't ask them, you know, and then something happens and life just gets worse and worse when we really could have done something for them. You know, the buddy system, we're taught that with the military. I know people are a lot of ladies and stuff are taught that, you know, our travelers, when we go out in other countries, we urge them to travel, you know, to walk around with somebody else. You know, if they leave the resort, they leave the ship, they leave wherever they're at, make sure you're with somebody else, and also make sure somebody knows what your plans are. Like if you're going out on a boat, you got to give people your boat plan, you know, where you're going to be doing, what time you expect to be back. hey, as a matter of fact, I was air traffic controller for 28 years. When people file flight plans, even if they're not using instrument flight rules, they're just telling the flight service station or whatever they're going to be flying. Hey, they got to give some kind of, well, look, what's your destination? When do you plan on being back? At what point do we need to be looking for you if you don't return? You know, and that just holds true with everything. And I just wanted to throw that in there and share it. We thank our musicians. Terry, I believe they say most of our musicians are all veterans themselves or have family that are veterans. I believe we're silent again over there on Terry's side. I tried to unmute her, but it didn't unmute. Oh, they muted themselves. Terry, if you can hear me, oh, there you are. There you are. I see you. Can I hear you? I can see you. Can I hear you?
I don't think you can hear me. I think I'm muted.
Oh, you're loud and clear.
Oh, okay, good. Because
loud and clear. Loud and clear. Hey, we're glad you're back with us. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
but
you.
Hey, to know those resources, it's important when you agree. And
yes, definitely. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of resources in your community. All you have to do is reach out. And with the VA or with just military organizations in general, there's just so many resources. There's every opportunity to get help if you really want it.
Right. Hey, also let me say real quick with this military broadcast radio, it's giving veterans a voice, okay? But I believe also they give first responders and any of the folks that are served gives them a chance to host a podcast, learn some stuff about it, whether it's being a host or a co-host. We appreciate anybody that's willing to sponsor the program. It is nonprofit. And man, it's growing. Thanks to everyone out there in what do you call it? Radio land, podcast land. To everybody out there in podcast land or Roku land, we really appreciate you. And we thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your shares. And hey, Terry, speaking of that, I wanted to say, hello, sports fans, but what season is it, man? Football is upon us. Yeah.
Yep.
That could be a struggle all in itself, but football is upon us. College, NFL, Friday night lights at the local high schools. I know it's a pretty big deal out there in Texas and really all over the country nowadays. I think with high school football, Friday night lights is a real deal, and it gets everybody crunked up for the weekend. But what I wanted to say, because we got this football season coming up, my show, this particular show right here, Freedom from Struggle, probably will gain a lot of competition, from the Big Ten, the SEC, and all these different, football leagues that are out there. But we want to still give you a chance to listen and watch our shows. So I keep turning my hat the wrong way. That's just because of the camera. But what I want to tell you about the military broadcast radio, we're going to be doing a special sweepstakes and contest. You got to keep your ears and eyes open, folks, because this is going to start in the middle of September, right at the beginning of fall. It's going to be starting, and we're going to go all the way up until the end of the Super Bowl. And we just want you to stay tuned to it, because there's going to be some great giveaways, and you'll find out more later. Can't share anything right now. It's kind of a surprise. But we're gearing everything together, figuring out how we're going to be able to promote everything in the most, the most perfected way. And we look forward to each of you and you sharing and letting your friends know and getting them in the pot so we can draw that name out. And it's going to be a good season. I'm looking forward to this fall football season. Terry, I really am. Hey, Terry, man, we really don't have to take a break again yet. We haven't been back on the air 10 minutes. We're going to wait a few minutes. We'll hear from our sponsor. Of course, we're mentioning our sponsors, right? We talked about LTD. We talked about military broadcast radio, where it's giving veterans a voice. You can see up in the top corner up here, Just Go Travel. They're sponsoring this side of StreamYard. We have several different channels, and this is one. And look, we're happy to be here. Freedom from Struggle. Terry, I want you to share us a little bit more. I mean, we've heard about my program, what's going on with Freedom from Struggle. What do you have to share about your show and what you're bringing or doing with Military Broadcast Radio?
Well, thanks, Red. So what I'm doing with Tracer Rounds is I'd like to highlight any military veterans that are artists, either like an actual like drawing artist or musical artist or musician of any kind, or any veteran-owned or first responder-owned business. Right now, I'm a brand ambassador for Deemed Fit, and that's a first responder-owned organization. And so what every profit from that, not every profit, but a lot of the different profits go directly towards supporting first responder health, mental health. Okay. So any organization, and so I welcome anybody to contact me that wants to highlight their business, because that's really what I want to do, is get a highlight to all military or first responder businesses and just get their name and get the word out there about what they do and how they offer help and assistance to our veterans.
That's awesome. Hey, for a minute there, I was kind of wondering, Terry, you was talking about these musicians and artists. And I was like, well, how the heck did I get on the show the other day? You know what I mean? I thought, oh, that's for musicians, artists, podcasters, if you will. No, I'm just, obviously it's because we know each other in podcasting, but I have a business.
Because you have your own business too. You have a travel business, and I want to highlight that along with your podcasting as well. I mean, those are services to the community. So I really appreciate what you do.
Well, thanks, Terry. I wish I could be a musician, though. You know, now that we've got these nice little iPhones, everybody's got them. Most all of us can carry a tune in a bucket. You know, all we got to do is go grab that bucket. Heck, we can carry a tune in our pocket, if you will.
That's right.
You know, hey, and that's awesome. I'm glad we got that. Musically inclination, I don't have a lot of it. Unfortunately, I do own a guitar. I play the air one a lot. I listen to music well.
Me too.
Okay, well, that's good. We're doing good. What's up? When does your show? When does that come on?
So Tracer Rounds is on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Central. Okay. And so we're an hour-long show, and we stream to all the same platforms that all the rest of the MBR shows stream to. And so we'd love for you to join us. And if you, like I said, if you have a military-owned business, or you're an organization that supports our military veterans or our first responders, reach out to me. I'd be happy to interview you and highlight what you do and maybe get you some additional resources that you're needing. I've interviewed all kinds of different organizations to date. And, you know, hopefully maybe they're getting some, you know, exposure that they didn't have otherwise with a new audience that can really assist them in their missions.
Okay, man, that's awesome. That's a lot of stuff right there. So you've got a Facebook page, Tracer Rounds. I got my Freedom from Struggle page. We have our own pages on, might be Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all over the place. Y'all go out there and like the places. And then with MBR Talk, if you have the, I know if you have the app that you get on your iPhone or iPhone, you can see exactly kind of the schedule of the shows each day and kind of keep you guided. You might see a name of a show on there that really, really interests you, because we obviously have the mental health type things, Tracer Rounds promoting businesses, artists, veterans in action, first responders in action, things that they're doing to help the communities. I know there's a financial show. I know there's just a talk show. I think it's about nothing. I think it's about, I don't know. I hate to be ugly and say it's like two idiots with a mic, but that's the name of the show. That's the name of the show, Two Idiots with a Mic. I'm surprised I didn't get on that show. But anyway, I guess I ain't that bad yet. So,
well, that's what I said. I'm like, I'm surprised I don't have a mic on that show.
Well, hey, we could have the other Two Idiots in a Mic show. But anyway, you wouldn't fit in. You couldn't be classified as that. I know. I've already known you. Hey, look, the saying all that was being said, that we do support each other, all of us with our shows. I think of the Smile show comes on. Yes. That's one of those early morning shows. And I believe Brother Lee comes up with a show on Sunday mornings, which is a very short show, which I've worried sometimes about having an hour-long show. Well, how are you going to keep everybody's attention for that long? Okay, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully some people see the end of our show. Look, part of this deal with the contest, the sweepstakes that we'll be running, you can't listen to just the first 5 minutes or the last 5 minutes. You're going to have to be in there and listen to the shows to get the code words, because each time you get a code word, you're going to get an entry to the contest, which is, hey, that makes it worth listening, And we all have a lot of spare time, whether it be driving down the road. We are fortunate enough. We are on podcasting where you can see a voice and a face, or hear a voice, see a face, but you can also just hear the voice via your whatever platform you're listening on. You don't have to look at the picture. It might spare you a little I don't know, anguish or something having to look at me on here. But hey, I'm looking at myself too, so that's just part of it. Terry, I am really, it's already 51 almost after the hour. I'm so thankful you're here with me. I'm thankful for a group, for the veterans, giving veterans a voice through Military Broadcast Radio. A big shout out to our station manager, the H Train.
Yeah, thank you, H.
Man, yeah, he brings a lot to the table, doesn't he? He brings a lot to the studio.
He does, and he's the energy behind MBR. To be honest, like without his energy, without his creative thoughts, without his just willing to be of service and willing to put things into action, we wouldn't be where we are today. But with him reaching out to everybody and just trying to find new platforms and new avenues and just checking on people in general, he's the heartbeat of MBR, honest and true. No
doubt about it. And fortunately, he's teaching us. He's not keeping the secrets, even though that joker's pretty sharp, really is pretty sharp, but he's not keeping it to himself. He's sharing with individuals, a heart of compassion, but he's also sharing with us what he does, how he does it. He's sharing his knowledge with us, so we might be able to keep on doing that. So that's just a beautiful thing. And I think veterans, this Military Broadcast Radio is it's a huge thing. It provides therapy for myself. I'm not sure how that fits in with you, Terry, but it definitely provides therapy for me. Burns off some energy, talking and running my mouth, or instead of just twiddling my thumbs and feeling sorry for myself. I don't feel good. I can't do this or I can't do that. Seems like even I managed to come up here and get the microphone going and start talking. I guess it's just, you don't want to be, I would say you don't want to be too embarrassed that you can't go through with it, can't take care of business. But then again, I ought to be embarrassed by some of the times I jump on here probably, but that ought to be bad enough. But we're not. We're just happy to be here. Yeah. And shows like this, shows like watching yours and learning more about people. But really, I think deep down with each of us is being able to help, possibly being able to help somebody else, being able to help entertain somebody else, or share something with that next person, that whether it's a person we were in the service together, the camaraderie between all of us. At times, there's so many areas we speak a different language than the general population, although we fit right in with them, but some people don't feel like they do, and it's little do you get trained to do different things. It makes a big difference.
I think it was you mentioned that, you don't know people necessarily, like you were on a cruise and you didn't really know anybody. You were all military. But, I always submit that we're one big family, because once we start talking and we just kind of relay an experience, then you can relate. Like it's like you're in the same place at the same time. You hear what they're saying and you can just feel like you're there in that space and you fit in and you're like, yep, we're like-minded. We're brothers. We're sisters. We got it.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a nice way to explain it, really. And that's so true. And people, I just encourage everybody to get busy doing something, do what's right when nobody's looking, share with other people, care about other people, and ask them, hey, pose that question, make sure everything's all right. And hey, another good thing that I've done this, okay, over the years, but man, checking with each other, doing a buddy check. You know, if you hadn't heard from a friend in a while, this doesn't matter. I mean, it's not just for the military, not just for you and I and our groups we hang out with. This is for everybody. You hadn't seen somebody in a while, give them a shout. Yeah. Maybe nobody else is calling them either. You know what I mean? Right. Check on them, see how they're doing. You know, if you got time, you don't mind going out to eat or going to get a cup of coffee, go plan something with them. You know, plan a party and invite them too. But I don't think we can go far enough with all that, just caring for each other, because that really is what it's all about. We're all, I could say we're all in this war together, but we're all in this love together for dang sure. And with all the things that are going on just in our country alone, and I know people can say in our town alone, in our county, our state, our, you know, but our country, there's so many things going on. We need to help each other out and be there and have each person being accountable, you know, to be on the right track. And it just, it can go so far.
Yeah, no, I agree. We have to unite our country rather than divide our country, because we have more in common than we do differences.
That's fact. We all, I believe we all love our freedom and stuff like that, you know, so it's a pretty big deal right there in itself. Look, I want to thank everybody once again for viewing the show today. We're on every Saturday. That's every Saturday as well. You know what I mean? We're most every Saturday. Sometimes people might have to have a radio day. It's not like we get fired or something, but if the health, which reminds me, the guest I had today, he'll be on in a future show, but he's a veteran. He's I think he's got a couple years on me. Okay. So I think he might be mid-60s. I'm not positive, but he is a veteran nonetheless. And he's also a grateful believer in Christ. And he's been through some of these same recovery programs that I've been in. He was feeling very bad today and kind of had to back out, you know. And Terry, I appreciate you stepping in with me. It's always a joy. It's a joy to serve with you. Okay. And
I appreciate serving with you too.
So, I mean, we've done a little bit here on the line already, online together, and kind of we got a friendship going. Never met each other in person. I'll give you a little fist bump, you know, if you can give me a fist bump, get ever touch each other. But we'll give you a little fist bump. Oh, there you go, that heart thing. I can't even make that symbol good. But we pray for my guest that he'll be able to come back in the future sometime soon, and pray for his health and his family. And Terry, once again, I thank you. Like I said, look, I got to go into this thing. I always, got to share a little prayer. Okay. And what this is the Serenity Prayer. And you'll find people at different recovery programs. They'll use this prayer. I just had my all of a sudden my dang computer did something. But anyway, we don't want it to do all that. It was trying to act up on me. It's probably something that I did and not the computer actually. But I'm going to bring this up on the screen real quick. And if you're just sitting there and you can read it, well, please read it. But if you're driving down the road, don't try to read it. Okay. If you're driving down the road or doing something where you need to be paying attention to safety, don't close your eyes while we say this prayer. But I'm going to say this real quick. It's the Serenity Prayer, and it's a little longer than some people think it is. But anyway, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace. Taking as Jesus did the sinful world as it is, not as I would have it. Trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. And I thank y'all for letting me share that with you. Right now, we got to say bye-bye. We'll see you next week at 3:00. I got the Just Go Travel Show is on tomorrow evening, 6:00 Central, the Just Go Travel Show. We look forward to seeing you. Y'all have a good weekend. Enjoy yourself. Thank you, Terry.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.